Hey, it's Chris here with PSN Stores, and this is the Unfinished Swan. Yes, we are actually in-game right now. I don't know if you can tell because the screen is all white. But basically, this is a game that's much like a storybook. I can't go into much detail about the story at this time because of embargoes and stuff like that, but I can show you the first 3 chapters of the game. So, basically, in this white level, all you have to control is your paint you can throw here. So you can see that after throwing this paint, the world sort of comes to life a little bit. You can sort of make out walls that are formed. So you can see I'm very close to this wall. You can hear a subtle wind chime in the background. And you can use this paint to navigate the world just by tossing it out. I sort of do it like sonar. So I'll ping it out to see where things are. Because if you paint too much, everything will turn black and you won't be able to see what the heck you're doing. It'll just be as though it were white. So you can hear the wind chimes in the distance. Start to hear some animal noises maybe. Some birds chirping, that sort of stuff. So, but basically the story of this game is you're a little boy, as you could tell from the opening video, who's going after this swan that was in a painting that his mother left him whenever she went away. He's in an orphanage now, so basically you're just playing out through his journey trying to find the unfinished swan. You can see every once in a while in the levels here that the swan leaves their footprints, and that's how you know you're going in the right direction. So you'll always want to try to walk towards them. But sometimes you see there might be something in your path that you can't get to. Like, for instance, this here is a log, and there's some water. Water is one of the only things that can impede you from going further in this game. If you fall in water, there's like no real, you don't have lives, so it's not like a video game in that sense, but you will like be restarted from not too far off from where you were if you fall in water. There's a bench there. Okay, there's the footprints. So you can see there's some fish in the pond here. They'll eat the little paint drops like they're bait. So the game is a first-person platformer, if you didn't notice already, but it's a couple different chapters, and everything, pretty much after you're done with this first chapter of the game, you won't be throwing paint in an all-white world. That's just the very beginning. I remember when we were talking to the developers a couple times, once when I was at E3, and I think Eric did as well when he met them in New York City. They said the game would be too exhausting if all you were doing was this like stark contrast between white and dark. So you can hear some little regal music come in now. We're in the courtyard. See, I think this is the king here. If we can, see, I threw too much paint on it, so you won't be able to tell. But you can see there's some animals in here, and there's a balloon back there. So we'll try to go into that room and to figure out a way to get there. Here we go. Take this staircase up. Oh, shoot. So you don't take fall damage. Another thing that's don't have to worry about. The game's pretty much purely an exploration-based game. There's really no way for you to get hurt. It's not to say that there aren't things that might be able to hurt you, but so you can see all the path we took to get here. This is that's back at the beginning where there's the lake we crossed and that sort of stuff. Yeah, the game is actually very, very beautiful in the later stages. I would say even more so than Journey, maybe. Just the way they handle shading in this game. It's just everything is really sharp. It really pops. So we're on some sort of roof here. What do we got? Some sort of animal. Is that chicken? What do we got here? Yeah, it's a chicken. There's a rooster in here. Something over here as well. I keep throwing too much paint on it. I think this is a pig over here. I can see the tail. Yeah, there we go. It's a pig. But yeah, you can also play this game with the PlayStation Move. When I was playing with it, I only used one Move controller. So basically, you use the Move button to throw your paint. The trigger button on the back of the Move would move your character. And one of the buttons would jump. Might have been the X button. So let's see if we can get this balloon here. It's a hippopotamus, it looks like. Come on, get it. I can get this much easier way, but I'll just do that. There's another staircase over here. So there's a trophy for this level. If you just get through the whole courtyard up to the first section without using any, only up to 3 shots of paint. So you can see a brush of the toys. You can buy a bunch of different things with these toys. You can stop your time in midair, make a huge mess. There's a hose you can unlock, a sniper rifle, some concept art, that sort of stuff. The only thing that becomes your HUD is the balloon radar if you end up buying it, and you can turn it off at any time through the start menu. So here's some more footprints. We'll want to follow that. And throughout the world, the game tells its story through these like storybook pages. And every time you see a letter that's in gold, you want to throw some paint on it, and it'll unveil the story.
The king was young, arrogant, and amazingly talented. He was convinced no color existed that was good enough for his garden, so he left it white.
One thing I do
While
like is you can
he
walk
pondered
away.
how to create some new colors, his kingdom began attracting settlers, and soon he found himself with bigger problems.
Looks like there's a balloon out there. Let's follow the swan first. So this is the Watchtower. This is the second part. This is really like MC Escher-esque almost. There's a bunch of puzzles in the game that are like this too. It's not the first time. This is the first time you see it, but it won't be the last. You'll be solving a puzzle that is sort of inspired by MC Escher. I thought there was a balloon under there. They do like to hide the balloons by making them the same color as the background, so there's a couple white balloons that you'll find every once in a while. So let's see what we got here. Back in here, where is this? Oh, it's the same room. So you can see the room will overlap like this over and over again. But you can see there's some duck feet here, or some swan feet, and you can see, look, that it is in fact the same level again. And there seems to be some more feet over there, so we'll go here. Yep. So you can see they start shading the levels here. And I'll tell you why in a second.
The king's new subjects were tired of white. They were tired of tripping, of banging their shins, of misplacing their homes. So they started painting everything, ruining the king's spotless design. In response, the king outlawed all non-magical brushes and pledged to spend the next month painting shadows for his kingdom.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's not the... I actually said whoa one time like him, like the kid in the game at one point in the level. So you can see they hid that balloon back there in the water. Just tossed it over the barricade here and got it. They do that a couple other times. It's really fun trying to find the balloons, especially when you have the radar, because it lights up and lets you know when you're getting close. So you always be like searching around like, where is it? Where is it? I don't know where it is. And there's some pretty good replay value going back in levels and looking for the balloons. It's also just great to look at this game. I mean, this is pretty simple. It gets much more elegant later. There's some really cool shader effects. And then the game's credits are something to watch too. So one thing to notice is not all the balloons are big. And also gold is your friend. See that little tiny balloon there? Got it. So I'll buy the radar so you can see that, what it looks like. So you see it puts a little radar on your screen. You can turn it off at any time by going to the start menu again. So maybe I recommend playing the game once without it and then coming back a second time. So there's the Unfinished Swan. Let's try to catch her. Always one step ahead. So I think this is the section where I said whoa, because let's look out there and see this huge labyrinth. And it looks endless almost. So let's throw some more paint. And enter the labyrinth. So as I said, gold is your friend. So if you see gold, you always want to go towards it. So we want to try to get to that that building over there. So there's another storybook page. Just hit that.
The labyrinth was designed to be beautiful, and it was. It was not designed to be practical, and it wasn't. Whole families got lost for weeks at a time. Mail took months to arrive, and many worried a labyrinth of this size was bound to attract dragons. Eventually, the complaints grew so loud even the king couldn't ignore them.
Alright, so you can see that my balloon radar has started to flare up a little bit. So I wonder where this balloon is. If you're careful, you can see it. So some of them are hidden pretty well like that. Especially if you don't have your balloon radar out, you won't even notice they're there half the time. So let me turn that back off. So yeah, the only other thing on the HUD that ever shows up is that little saving icon at the top. Otherwise, the game is purely just that little white dot in the middle, letting you get your like sense of awareness. But yeah, here's more of that labyrinth. It's pretty huge. But the kid also never ever speaks in the game other than a few woes.
The king was so frustrated with the messy, demanding people of his kingdom that he decided to start over. One morning he painted a boat and set off to find the perfect spot. He told himself he'd come back someday to finish what he had started, but of course, he never did.
So yeah, that telescope will actually show you where that balloon is. So this is Unfinished Swan. It's $15. It's out October the 16th for PlayStation Plus members and October 23rd for everyone else. You can check our review Monday on the site. So be on the lookout for that. So this is Unfinished Swan by Giant Sparrow.